Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Fair Game. We're on stage 3 of the Flashback playthrough, and frankly, this is where things start getting a little bit ridiculous. In contrast to the first two areas, stage 3 is almost refreshingly straightforward. It's mostly, you just have to get up a series of tower floors, and basically, once you beat the enemy at the top of the tower, the game show. Apparently, in the far future, Prince of Persia-esque action is all the rage. Unfortunately, the enemy opposition here is where things get absolutely crazy. There's a lot of enemies here, and unless you know how to do absolutely everything, a lot of the puzzles here are going to take some time. Heck, even if you do know what you're doing, there's a good bet you're still going to wind up getting injured or even killed on several occasions. Fortunately, I've been through this game quite a number of times, so I know there is a very large number of enemies in this one, and they are only remotes and replicants. The replicants, thankfully, aren't as hard as those first two we fought that took about 6 shots each, but they are quite difficult. There is one at the end that takes like 10 shots, though. Timing is everything on these guys, especially because they have the ability to dash around. The stages here not only look nice, but they really emphasize the advantages these enemies have. Mobility, the fact that they can do pretty much anything you can do, etc. And, of course, their teleport dash. We're currently on level 8. There's 8 levels to the tower. Sometimes you get lucky. Just as enemies are capable of shooting each other, they are capable of killing one another with melee attacks. So, as you just saw. I hate remotes. I really do. Probably my most hated enemy in the game. But regardless, we made it past the first one, and now we're up. Now we're on floor 7. Again, I love the stage design here. It's really dark and, you know, and atmospheric. And again, they have everything here transparent so that it's easy to record. It's a really cool idea. Ow, damn it. Again, this level is very straightforward compared to the first two. That doesn't mean it's any less difficult, however. It's worth noting that in the original PC release, this game was referred to as Death Tower. Apparently, calling it Death Tower was too hardcore for the Genesis and NES version, like I said earlier. But, regardless, this is apparently the single most popular show on Titan, and I can only imagine why. I mean, I suppose that, you know, it's exciting to see somebody go all the way there and just get right into a death trap or something, but other ones make you question the fairness of this entire little game show they've set up. A lot of mines in this area, both of the floor-mounted and ceiling-dropping variety. I really don't have a lot to comment on in this level, because unfortunately there's not a whole lot going combat and working your way between the various floors. Compared to a lot of the compared to literally every other area in the game, this is just kind of going through the motions. If you know what you're doing, this is not a difficult area, and you shouldn't have too much trouble with it. If you're a relative newcomer to this game and you haven't really mastered the mechanics on the previous 2 levels, this is where you're going to get raped. This is the first, like, actual puzzle you have, and it's actually kind of a sneaky one. The general idea is, whenever that pressure plate is used, and actually it uses a laser sensor rather than a pressure plate, but still serves the same basic purpose, that gun turret fires. So what you gotta do is, you gotta time it so that the second that it's done firing, you hop up. Otherwise, it'll shoot you down when you try to climb up. Very sneaky. I've seen a couple people do it with the force field. I handle it that way. This game also introduces trapdoors, which you'll be seeing a bit more later on, but they're very common here. And finally, we have our first energy generator. Get our Duracell shield battery back, and here we go. Now I'm going to show you a little secret. It is very dangerous to do that, but there is a point to doing it. You get these idiots to set off the mine for you. They are not that smart. Speaking of not smart, let's go down there and fuck their shit up. At first I was considering just leaving, but then I realized I might have to come back to use the shield generator again. Sorry about that phone call. The general gist of this area is that a lot of it is getting good with shield management, knowing when to recharge your shields, when to backtrack to recharge your shields. That's what makes this level a lot easier. It's also knowing how to weave your way through the level, and there's a lot of areas where, if you know what you're doing, you can bypass or even skip certain areas entirely. This is a good example right here. Normally this guy just tries to fuck you up. You can just hop on the elevator and leave him behind. Granted, we will have to fight him again if we ever have to go back downstairs and recharge our shields, but that's not, we're ready for that. Ow. Damn it. My biggest problem with the replicants is their melee ability. Timing is everything, because if you swing too soon with your pistol whip, you'll hit them when they're still phasing in and not actually hit them. Again, very simple puzzle. Roll through, and the door opens. This is a very sneaky puzzle that a lot of people don't know how to do, so I'm going to show you how to do it without getting hit. Yeah, that's how you do it. I just made that look easy. That's the result of of repeatedly trying how to do that and trying how to figure it out. Normally, the game expects you to drop down. Guess what? You just landed on a mine. If you try to do a running jump from there, you're either you don't have enough distance, or you set off the mine trying to space yourself. Very annoying. Ow. Thank you, Force Field. Not hugely useful against replicants because of how they fight, but it still can prove effective. We're on level 4 now. About halfway. More remotes. Just look. There are two ways to take down this guy. There's the safe way. I'm doing the safe way. Mostly because we don't have a full shield and I don't want to risk it. If you've noticed, almost every floor on the tower is circular, which is, if you go far enough left, it eventually loops around to the right, and vice versa. On a couple of the floors, like the very first floor we entered, there's an obvious loop area, and it's very easy to get across. Much later on, it gets like it is now. You obviously can't circle around, but the circling still is part of a vital aspect of the tower. It's a very interesting mechanic. There's a couple of ways to get down there. You can use the trick I used earlier to jump and grab the lower ledge, or you can drop down, which is the safer way. Which is what we're doing. Shield battery while we're at it. If you can believe it, we're most of the way through this level already. I'm dead serious. This is easily the shortest level in the game, other than maybe Earth. Earth is actually a little shorter, but Earth is actually much more combat intensive. Once again, some fun you can have when you have your ninja skills up. Just avoiding the traps. Nice and sneaky style. This, for many people, is the toughest floor of the tower. Lots of enemies. If I remember correctly, there's 3 or 4 separate weapons here, and unlucky, it's possible to fight them all at once. Thankfully, I'm a bit smarter than that. These 2 remotes here are special. That one that I just killed, and the one above us, both of those ones have the control the doors for this level. So killing them is actually a necessity. You have to kill them. So basically, the only way to move forward is to fucking kill everything on this level. Or almost everything, at least. Again, once I said the most hated enemy in this game. And we're on the second to last floor, which is only this area. Damn it. We're a little lower on shields than I'd like to be by this point, mostly because the next guy's really... Damn it! Alright, we only got about 2 shields left, so we gotta fight smart. And by fighting smart, I'm gonna completely avoid this guy entirely. Yeah! Take that, sportsmanship. Alright, this is the final level, and this guy must be killed to escape. He takes around 10 bullets to making one of the toughest enemies in the game. And again, timing is everything with the and there we go. We have a winner! Allow me to present Conrad. My dear Conrad, Conrad, Titan Travel is happy to award you this superb journey to Earth. Some hours later, Conrad boards the Star Providence, destination Earth. I gotta say, that is a kind of cool looking spaceship. One hyperspace later, we're on Earth. So, yeah, be ready for next episode, and let's see what happens.